Okay. So now on top of it, write the name of your book, tentative. It doesn't need to be the final name.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever you can think of right now.
Okay.
Okay. So what have you written?
Raised the right way.
Raise
I'm
the
kids
right.
of parenting, so I'm raised the right way, like kind of, or raise kids the right way.
Okay. Now below
This
that,
can be my
make a
working
list.
title, like, no?
Yeah, this will be a working title. So, I mean, even if you do not have the final title, always have a working title, because that gives you motivation that this is the name of the book that I'm going to publish. Later on, you can always change it. Even like this Ayn Rand, when she wrote Atlas Shrugged, its name was Strike initially. Her working title was Strike, but later on she changes to Atlas Shrugged, which is much more, appealing as a title. So you can always do that. And now create a list of everything that you can think of that you would like to include in this book.
Okay. Like about my childhood, I'd like
anything, everything. Just make a list.
So I'll include some anecdotes about my childhood. I'll write
Yes.
something about my parents, about my
Yes.
mom, my dad. They both had different parenting style. They both had different ways of raising us, different ideas of a good human being or whatever.
If there's no limitation when you are doing this activity.
Correct. Yeah. Then, so I can list all the
everything that is in your brain. Just list it.
List all the topics you said, or points, or what you said?
Any point. Anything that you can think around this book idea that you put. So there's another way, actually organized way, to start with a concept, but since right now it's all scattered, so we are going to first organize and then come up with that idea.
Okay.
So what happens when you think about something in your brain, it's like, a neuron fires. Now, suppose you think about any other thing, the neuron fires again, but in a different area. But suppose if you're thinking about two things, they are separate, but they are connected. For example, if I talk about, let's say, speed reading, and I talk about books, these are two related areas. So the neurons will fire in the same area. Correct. And that means there is an association. Because of that, it's happening in the same area. So that so it's like, whenever neuron fires, there's a connector, or you can say a pipe is created. It's called myelin. And this pipe is stronger, it's thicker when they are connected. But suppose one is firing here, other is firing there. So you are not able to put them together. So right now your thoughts are all over the place. That's literally all over the place in your mind. So you are not able to cull them together. So once you find a way how to associate them with one backbone, then automatically in your mind, they will create a line. And then you'll have a story ready. Right. But before that, we should know what are these thoughts that are scattered. So that is why we are doing this exercise, where we are just listing down. Even if you are able to list down, let's say 10, enough. You have created your list? Yeah. Okay, how many items are there in it? About 7, 8, like 7, 8. I can write more, but yeah. Okay. Now, if it's below, it's still 7, then think about any category in which you can include more than 2 items. Like, for example, if you have written about parenting style of a father, parenting style of a mother, then maybe you can club them together as a parenting style. Right. So in the category parenting style will be parenting style of mother, parenting style of father. Okay. So like that, can you think of any category? Like Pooja, I was talking about my childhood. Your childhood, okay. So just छोटे छोटे incidents, there were small incidents of like, like
day-to-day kind of things where your father corrected you for this, or your mother corrected you for this, like that,
Okay, so let's start populating your list and let's start creating the categories. So you are talking about your childhood, my childhood. Okay, and then you're talking about parenting style of
father and mother, right?
yeah, father and mother. Okay. What else you're talking about?
Then I am the youngest of 6 siblings. So even my siblings were like, like second parents to me.
Siblings act like parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anything
I
else?
thought about like what I said about my childhood. That is how I was. So when I say childhood means where I was in Ahmedabad and the locality or friends and that thing, the how I was like for play dates, how it was for playing with. There were some rules for playing, for working, for students. My school children, my school classmates were also always welcome home, and they were all friends with my parents, especially my dad, or in a different way they connected with my mom.
Okay, so your story of school and friends, I'm adding here.
Because when you live in one locality and all your classmates and your playmates, so you share a like very good bond. Your friends also share a very good bond with your parents, right?
Okay. Any other thing you wrote?
Then I was thinking about good habits. Like we were inculcated, the good habit of reading was inculcated by my dad when I was very young. Like he always wanted me to bring a book and read out to him, like, So that also I feel has come from him, like.
Okay.
And we were not allowed to waste time on television or such things. So I think that one good habit which is sticking through me through all these years.
Okay. Okay, that's it.
So yeah, that is that like. So when I say Pooja, when I say my childhood, right? How I was raised, the locality, my friends, my when I say that, and when I say like how do I reconnect all these things, and how do I put in the chapters, and like how do I know which chapter comes first, or that?
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Now you have these different thoughts. Okay.
What do
And
you think can add in this list, like as a parent or as a daughter you can
yeah,
think of?
so from my perspective, you'll be able to add a lot of things. But
Yeah.
right now, let's, because if we add more, then the exercise becomes a little difficult.
Okay.
So for your understanding and to make it easy, let's stick with these first.
Okay, fine.
Later on, you can add whatever you want. Now, first we have to identify if we can put these in a single category. Now, let's say you talk about good habits that you got from father, no bad habits, and the parenting style of fathers and mother.
Okay.
Now, can we connect these three into one category?
Yeah, it has to be interlinked, interconnected, right? Like good values also, like moms, we learn got a lot of good values, like how to be a good host and how to be a good well-mannered guest and all that thing, like, so I think this all can be somewhere it comes in between, like, right?
Yeah. So can we put it in a single word or sentence like parenting lessons?
Yeah.
Or lessons from parents.
Okay.
Right. So we can say that, lessons of parents, how parents are going to give you lessons depends on their parenting style. And usually what kind of lessons they give you? First, they tell you what are good habits to inculcate. Then they tell you what are bad habits to avoid. Right. So first, this could be your major section. This can become your title, and under that, these will be your topics. This will be one topic, this will be second topic, this will be third topic. Now it's up to you whether you want to create it like a part and these as 3 different chapters, or you want to create it like a chapter and these 3 will be different sections of the chapter.
Okay.
So this is one. Now, childhood, siblings act like parents, my story of school, share a bond between your locality. Can we club them on together in your childhood?
Okay.
So suppose your childhood becomes the header. Here, this is your story. And this is also your story of schools and friends. And this is also your story. So now here, one challenge that you could be facing here is how to connect these.
Right.
Right, because these 3 have a connection. Right. This is parenting style. Under that parenting style, you have good habit and bad habit. Correct. But here there is no direct connection. So when there is no direct connection, there are different ways to connect the ideas. One is you can connect them in a sequence, which could be chronological or otherwise. Like
I'm not able to see the entire screen of yours. What is that? Because I'm on a mobile.
This is a whiteboard actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the entire screen. It's a whiteboard within Zoom itself. So the benefit is that we can actually save this whiteboard. Okay. And I can share it with you.
Okay, cool.
So this is a sequence. Can we connect these 3 in a sequence? Can you say that, when your story started, initial years, and then your siblings started to act like your parents, and then you made friends, so in your friends also their actions started affecting.
That like you learn from I also was learning from my siblings, because when you see your siblings, your actions speak louder than words, as you say. So as we see our parents behave, as we see our siblings behave, so we also learn from them.
Yeah, so this is one way you can actually put them together in a sequence. But it's not the only way. It's your choice, basically. It's your artistic choice if you want the sequence. What can be other way we can connect? Besides sequence, you can also connect them in a process.
Process, okay.
Which is a kind of sequence, but it is logical.
Okay.
Like, suppose you say, how does your development process works? So in your development process, it's like you are developing first because of your parents, they teach you something, and then you are developing because of the social arena, because of the social influences. You have family influences, you have social influences. So this will cover whole of the influences, and this will be like a social influence, and this will be family influence. So could be your process, like it's the process of, so you can say it's a process of influence. How are you influenced in your childhood by the people around you? So you can say the process at first you start getting influenced by, how your life is taking shape. Then you get influenced by your siblings when you're still at home. When you start going to school, so you start getting influenced by your schoolmates. When you start talking to people outside of your house, but in your locality, so you start getting influenced. So it could be a process of influence. So it could be influence.
Acha, like that. You make the title as process of influence or influence, right?
Yeah, so influence from social factors or whatever, you can cover anything in the influence. So your next chapter can become influence. Right, and within influence, you can talk about your friends, you can talk about your school friends, you can talk about your local friends, you can talk about your siblings. These are all influences. And of course, parents were the first influence that you already covered in the first chapter. So this
first chapter will be like parenting style, you said?
First chapter is lessons from, or you can change the sequence. You can start with influence as a first chapter, and then you say the strongest influence is of parents. That is why the second chapter is about parents. So you can maybe, create this chapter first, and then you jump to this chapter. That is your flexibility that you have. You either start with parenting first and then say there are more influences other than parents, or you say there are influences and parents are the greatest influence. So it could go anyway. Now your book idea is ready. At least 2 chapters you can write, or if you want more chapters to be covered with this idea only, you can convert these into chapters and this one into parts. Your first part of the book will talk about influence, second part of the book will talk about lessons from parents, and third part you can later think of whatever remaining ideas you have in your head, you can put them. Now you have a story.
Correct.
And you can start writing a book.
Right. And as you go through, then you can get more ideas and you can create more chapters, right?
Yes. I'll just save it as a PNG and I will. I can then share it with you later.
Yeah.
I'll just share it on WhatsApp. I shared it on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Now we can start another if required, and we can clean this. I'm taking this book.
Now you suggest some topic, like where we could write on.
No, go. Yes, go, but later. Right now I'm taking session. If you disturb my session, then you won't get point. 50. Go. Beta. Right. Okay.
Yeah, Pooja.
Yeah. So any confusion in this?
No, I got it. So this can be the style which can be applicable to all our writings, no, Pooja?
Yes. So here, depending on how you're organizing these thoughts, your style of the book is also going to change. Like if you're starting with parenting, it will be one style. If you're starting with influence, it will be another style. So like if you're starting with parenting, it will be, directly hitting people who are looking for parenting advice. But if you start with influence, your market will be widened.
Come again. Sorry, come again. If you start with parenting.
If you start with lessons from parenting, it will hit the audience looking for parenting advice. But if you start with the influence as a first chapter, then it is going to appeal to a wider audience. Because everybody who wants to learn about influence will come into your category.
Right.
So depending on which chapter you're choosing to start with, your audience will also change.
Correct.
So now it's up to you. Do you want mass appeal? Do you want to only target to people talking about parenting? Because influence process will also attract kids. Parenting one will attract some kids, but mostly parents.
Right.
So it's like these are random thoughts that you came up with, but now it looks like a solid idea, right? So yeah, that's how you have to organize. Doesn't matter what is your topic. If you use this process, simple categorization, and why this simple process works is because our mind thinks in categories.
Correct.
The moment you put a category, like for example, if I was a kid and I first time saw an animal that had 4 legs, and my mother tells me it is a dog. So I know that 4 legs means dogs. So I attach a category. 4 legs means dogs. Next time I see a cat and I suddenly say, oh, mama, this is a dog. She says, no, it's not a dog. But I ask, it has 4 legs. So she'll say, no, but look at her face. I mean, face is not protruded like a a dog. Dog's face is protruded and cat's face is flat. Then I create another category, cat. And now I have a dog category where I say 4 legs and a protruded face is a dog, 4 legs and a flat face is a cat. So now I have 2 categories. So modifying existing categories is very easy in our mind. Creating a new category, that takes time. Now next time if a horse comes and I'll say 4 legs and protruded, face also is protruded. That means it's a dog. But then mother will say, no, see, it's height. Dogs are shorter. Quickly, I'll create another category. Okay, now the someone who has 4 legs and has protruded face, but it has a longer height, much longer than a dog, is a horse.
Correct.
And then suddenly like lion can come and you say a lion is a cat. And then she'll say, she's a cat. She's a category of wild cats because see the height. He says, okay, the heightened cat is a tiger or lion, whatever. And then suddenly lion has a big face, cat has a small face. So I start categorizing. That is how we actually learn as kids. So that same thing we have to use in our writing also.
Correct.
Now you can quickly think, okay, influence, you're talking about influence, okay. Influence means parents, other kids, school, siblings, all influences. Then you talk about parenting, then you say, okay, parenting means parenting style, good habits, bad habits. Done. Your book idea is also simple to explain to your readers. And now you can, first you create this outline where you write the header influence and within that 3 ideas, childhood, it was childhood only, lessons from parents, the second chapter, 3 ideas. Then you think what more can I add to it?